Oh, worked. Hey, welcome to Lenny Schmidt's Quarantine Comedy. What's up? How you doing? Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching the show. If you watch the show, you know the deal. We're here every Monday and Wednesday on YouTube Live. And it's a show that was pretty much developed for entertainers to be in touch with their fans and their supporters during the COVID, hence the Quarantine Comedy. So we talk about performers, how they got through it. Also, their well-being, how they survived, relationships through COVID, all kinds of stuff like that. So do me a favor, sit back and enjoy the show. First of all, do me a favor, like the video. It would really go a long way. It would really help me out. People at YouTube really care about that for some reason. So do me a favor, like the video. You could share the video, subscribe to the channel. It all means a lot to me. Today's guest is Robert Robbins, who I'd done a podcast with in the past called Not Your Father's Show, something we are bringing back, and we're going to talk about that a little bit today. It's a show I'm very proud of, and I'm sure he's very proud of. And you guys sit back, enjoy the show, and try to hang on, I'm already making errors. Hold on. There we go. Just enjoy the show. Sit back and enjoy Lenny Schmidt's Quarantine Comedy.
There's a lot. You should have gotten on your Wi-Fi.
Hey guys, welcome to the show. Thank you. What's up? It's good to be here. Welcome. It's Wednesday. Thanks for being here. As I said, if you could like the video, like the video, share the video, all that stuff. You can also subscribe to the channel. Look, you can click my face. Look right there. Click my face right there, and you can subscribe to this channel. It really means a lot. Also, if you watch the show regularly, or if you're just watching it for the first time, you know we don't have any supporters, we don't have any sponsors, we don't have any of that. The show is solely supported by the viewers and the Patreon members and some of the people that are on the show. If you would like to support the show, you can, like again, I said, like the video, share the video, subscribe. Also, financially, bam, you can do that right there. Hit any one of those websites, LennySchmidtComedy/if you can. There's numerous ways that you can support the show right there. Or you can just go to any of the pay apps, Venmo, Cash App, and go to Lenny Schmidt Comedy. Anything I do can be found Lenny Schmidt Comedy on all platforms. So there you go. Thanks for being here. How's it going? It's Wednesday. If you live in L.A., I mentioned this on my website and my other Facebook page. I'm in town. I'm in L.A. now, and I have a show in L.A. this weekend at the Comedy Chateau Saturday at 7 p.m. Feel free to come on out to the show. I'll be telling some yucks. I got some new material I'm very excited about, and I'll be doing that Saturday nights. Besides that, I was going to look at the news. There's not a lot going on in the news. We're supposed to wear masks again. The CDC said they're not ordering us to wear masks. They're suggesting we wear masks, which means I'm not wearing a mask. That's what that means, because I am not wearing the mask until I absolutely have to wear. I got them. I bought masks the other day. I'm kind of angry. I'll be honest with you. I bought a pack of 10 masks 2 days ago, and I didn't think I was going to have to do it again. But, I did it. I got them just in case they drop the hammer and they say you have to do it. What else is going on? There was another story I wanted to mention. Ben Makeley's here. I don't know if you're here, Ben. Aaron Rodgers is in Packer camp, so let's get that out of the way right now and shut up about your Packers. How's that? Also, if you're a baseball fan, it's the trading deadline is this week on Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern, and the Chicago White Sox are looking for a second baseman. So that's all I got to say. So hopefully that'll happen. And there was a story I wanted to mention, and I don't know where it went. Oh, there we go. Oh, here we go. 25% of the new COVID cases in L.A. County are vaccinated people. That's what the news says. I can't imagine they're lying about that. But I find that shocking. That's all. I find that shocking. So I guess get your vaccine if you want to get your vaccine. I'm not. Oh, wow. There's a lot of viewers. I had no idea. I'm sorry. I say this every time. I'm vaccinated, so I'm fine. I'm good. But if you want, I understand why people don't want to do it because it's not officially approved by the FDA yet. Everybody keeps saying, and the White House, they lied. Actually, they said the vaccine is approved and it's got the gold standard from the FDA. That is not true. It was approved on an emergency basis. All of those vaccines are approved on an emergency basis. So you do what you want to do. I understand why people don't want to get it. I understand that completely because I got it because I need to go back to work. So hopefully, I don't grow a third eye in a year or look weird or or die of a heart attack in a week. I'm not sure. But if you're vaccinated, if you're not vaccinated, I understand why. It's not approved yet. So don't tell me it's a gold standard when it's not gold standard. All right, man. Let's go to the board really quick. Mike Gar, how are you, man? Good to see you, buddy. I'm glad to see you. Everybody's here. Look at everyone's here. All the usual suspects. Both Runyons. Keith is here. Shauna Johnston is here. Tammy Mulligan. Hi, how are you? You were doing man work. Vince was doing man work. Okay. Okay. All right. I'm afraid to ask what that was, but I'm glad I bet Tammy's happy that you did the man work. I bet that's what happened. Robin and Brenda. Rachel Zimmerman's here. Hey, how are you? Magic Mirror. Oh, Magic Mirror. I see. I got it. Now we're making fun of each other already. Mike Garcia says get the vaccine. And Vince Mulligan says magic mirror mushrooms. Okay, that's a lot that's going on. Using that as an excuse as lame. Well, I don't know what that means about the magic mushrooms. Okay, that was Tammy. So Tammy said it's a lame excuse to use. Oh, no, not happy. It was his motorcycle. Oh, I see. All right. So Vince was working on his motorcycle. That explains everything. So thanks all of you for being here. Lenny, if you grow a third eye, I'm going to as well because I'm vaccinated too. Yeah, you never know. Who knows what's going to happen? I don't know what's going to happen with the vaccine. Like I said, it's not FDA approved yet. It's not. It's an emergency and everybody got it. And who knows what's going to happen. I heard the news, the radio commercial today coming over from the gym. They go, it's proven safe for people over 12. It's not really. It's sort of. It's proven for 2 months. How much proof can you get in 2 months? So all I'm saying is I'm vaccinated, but if you're not, I understand why you're not. Yeah, I am. I'm sorry, Robin Greenberg. I wasn't very enthusiastic. I was or I wasn't. Robin Greenberg. Give Robin Greenberg a round of applause. There you go. Robin Greenberg. Yay. Let's give a applause to Robin Greenberg. Turn the sound back on. Turn my sound back on. Folks, today's show, I'm excited about today's show. Our guest, you may know him. His wife, Nicolette, has been on the show numerous times and been on several of my shows. And I did a podcast not too long ago called Not Your Father's Show, something I really liked, and I like doing it with him. And we were talking about it. We've been talking about bringing it back, and we're going to do that. And let's bring him out now. We're going to talk about it right now. Here's my good friend, the one and only. Give it up for Robert Robbins. There he is. Yay, Robert Robbins. Yeah. Applause. He's happy. Yeah, and this is fun today because we're in the same room. We're in the same room.
It is. It's a big change of pace.
It's
versus
huge.
Seeing the split screen, and then I know you've been working at it for a long time with some of the lag, and then you fixed that, and it was a lot quicker. Mm-hmm. Your production value is amazing for a lot of people that are trying to do some live broadcasts, even the Zoom. For people out there that have had to go to Zoom meetings or something, you're waiting and you're like not sure if the person's thinking or if the screen's frozen. And yours have come out really, really well. But it's nice to be in person. Be like, oh, hey, I recognize you.
Yeah, we talked about it yesterday, and we were like, should you stay home and do it? Should we do the thing? And I was like, no, just come on over here. And I just flipped everything around.
Oh, of course.
And we're just doing it. So we're doing it here. There we go. I should have put more light on you right there, but that's okay.
I'll live.
Yeah, you'll survive. So yeah, thank you. Well, it was the kids from Westview finally got their shit together. That's what happened. Was I don't know if you know that all of my production is handled by the kids from Westview Middle School, the AV department.
Oh, that's
they
good.
handle all my tech.
They're good.
They were terrible for a long time, and then I had to beat them. Beat them. There's
scare tactics are wonderful things.
They jumped through. They got their shit together. That's all I know. There's 6th graders, there's 7th graders, and the head of the AV department is a kid named Jimmy, who has failed 8th grade 9 times. So he is actually a 22-year-old 8th grader.
So he can drive the production van.
He drives everything. He buys
That's awesome.
beer. Yeah, he gets me beer. He does all kinds of stuff.
Oh, that's
So,
great.
yeah, it's great. It's very cool.
Little be said for hair and makeup. Where are they now?
No, there's no hair and makeup here. We don't do hair and makeup. Look,
Yeah, where's Crafty?
there's You've got Crafty right
I've
there.
got Crafty.
He's got the cool cups that Rachel set us up with. So
They're fantastic.
that was Rachel's. That was all
Are
Rachel's.
you selling these too?
I would. I normally give those to Patreon members.
They also have the QR code. So, like, if you're
the QR code
drinking on
doesn't
this
work
side and
anymore.
Someone's like, "What is that?"
The QR code doesn't work anymore.
It doesn't.
I changed it. When I changed it, I realized afterwards. I go, by the way, your old codes won't work now. I go, oh, good, because I have a case of cups with this code on it.
Oh, that's
so
great.
yeah, what are you gonna do? so how's it going?
It's going very well. How's it going with you so far?
It's going good, man.
Excuse me.
It's good to be back in town. It's good to be here in LA
I
for
need some more water.
things are kind of going back to normal. You know, I'm back to traveling heavy.
Well, you have a show coming up this Saturday.
I have Saturday here in Hollywood. Yeah, in North Hollywood. I'm very excited. I love.
That's got to be a lot different being back and seeing that live audience where they interact with you and the laughter and.
Dude, Chicago was great.
You also said you had some new material.
Yeah, I got a ton of new material.
I am dying to hear some of your new
Yeah,
stuff.
I can't wait. I've got.
I'd ask you, but you have to go see the show.
I'm not doing it now. No. Plus,
no.
I'm just working on one bit, which I think I'm very excited about.
Okay.
So, excuse me. And then a lot of stuff about obviously all the new stuff about COVID and traveling with COVID is new. And then stuff about Anna. Anna runs the house, and I'm afraid of her. That's what I'm going with now.
I would be too.
I'm totally afraid of her. Whatever she said. I'm glad she's out of town for 2 weeks. It's like I can do whatever I want now. It's great.
Yeah.
When she's here, I got to ask for approval. It's bullshit. The roles reversed in this house. It's not cool. So
Yeah, that's actually called parentification, but it's not when she's the one that's like, yeah, I'll do this, and you just do that.
that's called parentification. What is it?
It's parentification is usually when maybe I should. For some of your listeners that don't know, I'm a marriage and family therapist.
Yeah, we're going to set it up now because this is what we did. We'll go ahead and set it up because this is what we did on the other podcast, which we're bringing back. But this was something.
So
go ahead and do your thing.
I'm a marriage and family therapist. Went to school for it. The technical term, aside from that, is a psychotherapist.
Psycho. Emphasis on the psycho.
Yeah, they're all crazy. We're all crazy. So as a disclaimer for everyone out there, these are all opinions when we did our show. This is not a form of therapy. It is strictly talking about stuff for entertainment purposes. With a little bit of education, I guess, a little knowledge sharing. So parentification is when the parents put responsibilities on the child and let them run the show. For example, if a child is having a temper tantrum, I'm not going to do this. And like, okay, we'll do whatever you want to do. If you stop temper tantruming, that's a form of parentification. So Anna just said, thanks, Dad, I'll do this. And you're like, okay.
Yeah, I do whatever she says. Well, now, if your kid's throwing a temper tantrum and you give in and you do whatever they want, isn't that a bad message to send them because they think they can throw a temper tantrum?
Absolutely. It absolutely is. There's a wonderful book. One of my friends and mentors, Dr. David Swanson, wrote a book called Help, My Kid is Driving Me Crazy. The 17 ways kids manipulate and what you can do about it. A lot of people are like, what kids manipulate? You know, that's so evil of a term. And it's like, no.
Trust me. I have a 17-year-old that's manipulating everyone right now.
Yeah, it's what it is learned behavior. For example, if a kid cries and you give them what they want, they're going to be like, so if I do this, I get that. And they're not trying to be evil about it or sinister or malicious about it. It's strictly getting what they want, getting their wants met over their needs.
Right.
So going through this book, and it came out a few years ago. You can still buy it on Amazon. It doesn't read like just a novel. It's more like an instruction book, and you flip open to like, this is happening, and like, oh, here's some solutions. So I gave it to my parents. They came to visit one time. They were seeing Dr. David and his wife, and my dad's flipping through. He's like, son, you do. I'm like, no, I don't know. And he's like, that sounds familiar. And I found I've given it to other friends that they don't have kids, but they're dating. And they're like, oh my gosh, this hits so many red flags of things that I've done and met with people, either friends or in relationships, like learning those manipulation techniques, knowing what to look out for. So in the sense of with kids, it's learned behavior. If you do one thing, they're going to learn that. For example, if you tell your kid, you need to take out the trash, and they don't do it, and they are busy with something else, and you say it 17 different times, and finally you blow your top, they're going to learn that, oh, okay, I can do it a bunch of times, or maybe they'll forget about it and I can get away with it. But if you have consistency saying, you need to do this, the second time's not going to be nice, and I need it done. Please and thank you. There you go. So you have a little bit more structure.
Okay. All right. That makes sense. Because then now the manipulation thing, because there's a learned pattern, a learned behavior, which is a situation I'm in actually with Lily. Because Lily, this is a good thing. When Lily was a baby, we were really good. When Anna was a baby, we were really good about not letting her cry and then putting her in bed with us. We didn't do that. But with Lily, Vesna gave in immediately, and from the day one. And I go, this is going to be a problem. Yeah. And I'm a big believer, and that's why Lily manipulates the way she does.
Very likely. The first thing when it comes to parents, and it's really tough with split relationships, like if there's a divorce or people split up and they still have to work on the kids. And it still happens with the quote-unquote nuclear family where the mother and father are still together. The parents have got to be on the same page. They have to. They have to.
Yeah, I know.
And a lot of times there's like, well, don't tell your mother this or don't tell your father this. And you know, they help them out in certain ways. But it goes back to divide and conquer. Yeah. You know, and it's the technical term is triangulation, where you pit one person against the other. And so in that sense, they feel like if I side with mom or mom sides with me, then dad's the outside, and then they can play that manipulation technique. That's bad. They're learning that behavior again. So what I tell some parents is whoever is the one that says, okay, here's the punishment. And if you're mad, you shouldn't punish when you're mad. You know, just take a second and be like, all right, let's look at the facts here. When you punish, the person that does the punishment is the person that also has to say, okay, I'm going to lessen your restrictions, your punishment. It can't be the other parent. Right,
because then one's the heavy, it's good cop, bad cop almost, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, that's the problem. My ex and I are not on the same page at all anymore.
I don't think you guys are even in the same book.
No, we're not even close, dude. It's like really, it's messed up. It's screwed up. I want to go to the board really quick. Rob, who said something? Oh, Brenda, we have a thing here. There was a blue cup thing. Here's the deal. If I drink out of this blue cup like this, some of my viewers do shots or drink. That's a thing that they do. It's like it's that old Julie Toots or Hi Bob game. You ever play Hi Bob?
Yeah.
Okay, same thing. Hi Bob. So that's what they do. But they also mentioned that you have a blue cup, so now they're trying to keep up with both of us. So every time they see blue cup from either one of us, they're going to be very drunk. So you're welcome. You're welcome, Brenda.
So buckle up. Who's going to get blackout?
Yeah, we'll see. Try to keep it together. I hope you're home. Hey, also like the video, guys. You schmucks. There's 16 viewers and only 11 likes. Get to it.
If you're looking at what I'm doing, I'm trying to read some of the comments.
Yeah, we're both reading comments.
Yes. Westview kids.
Carefully. That's hilarious. Brenda said, "Careful, he's a therapist. He's gonna be onto us." Lenny set us up. Yeah, I should have done this when we were on Vegas, and it would have been like a group. It would feel like a group intervention. That Robin would have came in and actually had a conversation with all of us.
See, that's why I know like Lenny's actually a friend, because before I was a therapist, we were friends.
Right.
We liked hanging out.
Right.
And other people are different. I think I don't want any more friends because they're going to be like, yeah, free therapy in this economy, you know?
Yeah, right.
And when Lenny and I would go out to a couple of our usual restaurant, watering hole places where, you know, everyone knows your name, and which we might do later on this evening.
We are going to the 30 right after this. A little shameless plug for the 30. Yeah.
So I'd either be with Lenny or Todd or both of them. And we would be talking to the bartender because we always like to be at the bar instead of a table. It's more interaction, and we know the bartenders. So as we're talking,
because we're drunks, the bartenders know us. I don't think we know them. We walk in and they go, "Oh God!" and look who's here. And then our drinks are sitting there when we sit down.
That's why they say it's happy hour.
Right, exactly.
And then so someone will be coming up next to us, and a lot of times it's a woman, and they say, "Wow, you sound so insightful about these things. What do you do?" And I started thinking, like, maybe I should just say, like, I'm a dentist or a mechanic.
Yeah, you're going to make something up.
And they're like, "You're a marriage and family therapist?" They're like,
yeah, they just dump on you.
Oh, man. And at that point, it's like, you know what? I'm here to have fun. unless you want to rip out your, pull out
Pay
your
me.
checkbook
Yeah.
and stuff. And then a lot of times people think that I'm always psychoanalyzing them. It's like, no, I'm not. If you're nice and fun to be around, awesome. Good conversation is good conversation.
That's worse than the comic thing, because I always get, like, I stopped telling people I was a comic now. And what I do a lot, too, also, because when you tell people a comic, they always go, tell me a joke, right? And I always go, now I go, no. I just say no. I don't even argue with them. I just say, no, I don't tell you a joke. Because it never works.
But it's different. A lot of your comedy is built up on stories and dovetailing and things like that. It's not like
but a place for a joke is also not a bar or an airport. You know what I mean? It's like when people say, "Tell me a joke," I'll do the same thing. I'll go, give me $50. You give me $50 to tell you a joke.
Yeah.
And they'll get mad. They're literally mad at me. I go, well, why would you be mad at me? I don't understand why you're mad.
Yeah.
I go, I'm not your puppet. I don't just do.
It's like asking singers, "Oh, you're a singer. Sing me something." And it's like,
yeah, but it's even. I didn't even think about it because it's the same. You got to get the same shit all the time. Because you're right, people are always like, "Hey, let me ask you a question." That's how it's always that. Hey, times. Yeah, it's got to happen a lot. Where they always,
and to be honest, I really enjoy talking to people and listening. When I'm out, I'm ready to be social. When I'm not, I'm home and I turn off the phone and I'm just with my family, and that's how I am. Right. I like both times.
Right.
It's basically being present. When you're out, enjoy being out. When you're home, enjoy being home. And a few people I've talked to in long conversations and. As a matter of fact, there's a few people that I have talked to, and I'll never forget these times. They said, "I think you just saved my marriage," and they'll go home and I'll get a letter or something later like, "We're doing great." Those times are fantastic. Other times, people are listening to the same thing again and again. Let me give you an example. If you had a friend that asked to borrow $20. And you're like, here. That's
no friend of mine.
But they pay you back. You're like, good.
Okay.
So in the future, if they say, hey, can I borrow a $5 really quick or a 20? They only take cash. No problem, because they're going to pay them back. It's the same thing with advice. So for those people that are out there and they're dating and they're going through a breakup and they keep going back with their ex or dating someone with red flags, and they ask. Here's the thing with advice. You can't offer it unless it's asked. And if someone says, what do you think I should do? You're like, well, since you're asking me, if I was in your shoes, I would do this. So if they're like, okay, and they go and do the opposite, a lot of times you're like, well, don't ask me for advice again because you're not going to take it. That's like saying, hey, can I borrow $20? Never using it and never paying you back. So in those sense, if you take someone's advice, great. You can ask them again, but if you don't take their advice, stop asking.
Yeah, all right. That's a good point. I was wondering how long it would take for someone to get to a proctologist joke when I talked about people asking to perform your craft in a bar. And Shauna Johnson, good for you, man. You're the one. Yeah, got to it right away. I'm very impressed. I would have bet my money on Keith Runyon, but we're gonna go with Shauna Johnson. Actually, won that award, so good for her. She's good.
Let's see.
And Brenda saw your little thumbs up with the thing. Right? Yes. Yeah. Oh wait, Gar.
Brenda, I don't know
give out advice when you're buzzed. That's Gar's advice. Gar's advice is to give out.
That's the thing. I never give out advice. I just keep asking questions.
That's good.
Oh yes, Vincent, shooting the shit. Yes, always. But you usually do that with friends. I mean, if you enjoy a good conversation with someone, for sure.
Yeah.
If you don't, and they're just trying to solicit something from you, it's a little different.
Right.
A lot of times it's because all their friends and relatives' ears are expired. We actually, I think.
All their what?
Like, if they are constantly talking about, like, should I date this person or that person, or what should I do with my kids, or something in that respect, and they talk to all their friends and their family's tired of hearing it. It's like, we've told you what to do. We don't want to hear it anymore. So a new ear is kind of like, oh, a new person that will listen to my song.
Oh, that's great. It's because people are everybody else is sick of your shit.
Yeah,
that's what it is. Okay.
And then Todd and I actually had an episode. We did my show for a little while, which I need to bring back at some point, and we call it Salting the Earth. So with the therapist, they're there, they're in your corner, they're relatively unbiased, and the buck stops there. They're not in your network of friends. They're not going to take it home with them. It's there, done. When you start sharing things that are on a personal nature, yes, with friends, you should have the friend that you can talk and lean on. without having like a strong judgment or bias, unless they're like, hey, you need to stop doing this. You're going to run your life into the ground. But when you start talking about like dating with friends and relatives, for example, a significant other, and then you're like, oh man, he did this or she did this. You have that like level of special for them that you're willing to forgive them. The family and friends do not. They're going to be biased. So when you say all these bad things, even though you're just venting, they don't go through the forgiveness process that person would go through with their significant other. So when they bring them around, they're like, I really don't like who you're dating anymore because of all the stuff you've been sharing. They're like, no, we made up. So
Right.
that's the problem with salting the earth and sharing with friends too much.
Right. Because then you have a resentment toward that person.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. All right. That makes sense. Okay. Well, let's talk about the podcast a little bit.
Let's do it.
Because it's been, how long? It was before COVID, obviously, right?
Yeah,
At least a year.
I think 2018 was the last, almost 3 years ago now.
Oh God. Okay.
Tempest Fugit, huh?
We still have the Facebook page is still up, and there's some of the in the Instagram, and
Right.
I actually shared this video on the Facebook page, so there's some people that I don't know if it's on there, but it is on there,
Nice.
so they can click it on there. But one of the reasons I like doing the podcast is, or our podcast, I liked doing this podcast because I always knew I wanted to do a podcast, but I just wanted to do something where I felt like I was helping someone, or I was doing something to help someone, and I felt like this podcast in a lot of ways. It helped on a couple of reasons. One is I helped a lot of entertainers get their word out, sell albums, and get seen. Also, I helped a lot of people who are viewers that tune into the show all the time to get through COVID. We all kind of helped each other during that. So I felt like this podcast kind of provided a service. And one of the reasons I liked our podcast early on was that we talked about all kinds of stuff about raising kids and being in relationships and being a single dad, being a divorced dad, when you were married. I mean, it was a great yin and yang for us to talk about that stuff, and I really enjoyed it because it was poignant. You know what I mean? It really hit home. So we found a way, and we stopped doing it because of time, because I was traveling, I was on ships, and I didn't have a lot of time.
That's a good reason to stop.
Yeah, I was gone all the time. But with me using the software and some of the stuff I'm using for this show, I can use it to bring back that podcast again.
Yeah.
Because we can record even if I'm in a different country. If we have to do an episode, we can record and get it up online.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we're going to start bringing that back. I would imagine we're going to relaunch again sometime in September, but start recording in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So
well, you're here for a while, which is great.
Right.
And then we can bank a few episodes. And the topics that we were talking about primarily were about parenting. And now I think we're opening it up to everything, including dating and just everyday life.
Well, I love that. Well, I love anything. I love talking about, because I'm a big believer in there's no right or wrong way to do something. Everybody's a little bit different. And so I like talking about things like single parents dating, divorced parents dating. I mean, those were things, because I was a child of divorce too. So I grew up, my parents were divorced, and then I got divorced. And it's such a weird dynamic when I talk to people who have never been divorced. And I actually have people tell me after shows sometimes like, oh, we're so sorry about the divorce. And I'm like, don't be sorry. It was 9 years ago. I'm good. I'm actually very happy. And I went to therapy and changed, and I feel a lot better about myself as a person. So we talk about those things, I think, that are really important and very helpful. I know a lot of people watch the show, went through those things and got to watch the show and see different perspectives. And I think for you and I were a good yin and yang.
Yeah.
Yin and yang? Yin and yang.
I mean, it works because you bring a lot of levity and comedy, and I'm not a funny guy. I'm not.
I'm funny.
I've tried, and people are like, don't. You're making it uncomfortable.
Don't be funny.
For everyone involved.
That's okay. That's at least I'm there. I can add levity to it. But it's works. And we talk about, and we're both parents, you know, we're parents on different levels. You know what I mean? Like I have 2 teenage daughters from my marriage. You have your daughter with Nicolette, and the circumstances are different. So we really kind of cover a lot of different angles as far as being a parent. And like we talked a little bit about, we talked to Kathy 2 days ago about relationships. All relationships are relationships, whether it's a husband and a wife or it's a father and a daughter.
Right.
Learning to be in a relationship, still communication goes for every relationship, not just. One of the things we focus on a lot in our show, we wanted to focus on the difference between raising kids now and raising kids when I was a kid. And I mentioned a little bit of this Monday, I think. We were part of the shut up, be quiet generation. Yeah. The whole, because I said so. Yeah. So, and now it's so different raising kids, and it's so different with kids because I communicate with my kids. I listen to them and take what they say and absorb it and try to parent with that knowledge.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You are a really stand-up dad. Like, For my background, I work with teens and then parenting and couples because they're all the same. In the sense, you hit the nail on the head with relationships. Everything is a relationship on how you work with people. So with teens, for example, they have all these emotions and feelings and no roadmap on how to express them. And then for people in relationships that have had bad modeling, growing up, then they have all these emotions trying to deal with someone else and no roadmap how to communicate. So it's all communication. You're right. In dealing with that, the only people that are not going to communicate are like fanatics and addicts. Those are the people that aren't willing, and narcissists. Those are the three that are like, I see you talking, but you're not speaking my opinion. And those people can't communicate effectively. But everyone else, as long as there's a desire to communicate for understanding, that's the step in the right direction, So with your parenting, when COVID hit and everyone was like, what the hell are we going to do? Like parents were like, I work a job and now my kids are home and now I don't have a job or I'm working from home. It's been so hard on everyone.
Yeah.
But you came right off the ships. And ladies and gentlemen out there, I wish most of the fathers that came into my office had the gumption and like, I do what I need to do for my kids that Lenny does. I mean, you are a phenomenal dad.
Thank you.
Listen, you spend the time and you're like, what do I have to do to put bread on the table?
Thanks. I appreciate that. Yeah. I try. That was the one. It's one of the three things I do really well. I'm a good dad.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a good cook and a comedian.
Dude,
everything else I suck at.
Cook.
I suck at everything else.
Let me give you, ladies and gentlemen out there, Lenny's such a great cook that he came over to my house yesterday.
Oh,
and
that's
I got
right.
A new barbecue. I have a brand new barbecue on the patio, overlooks the pool, and I got this meat that's been marinated all day, and I'm like, so here's my barbecue, and he's like, yeah, it looks good, and he kind of like goes like this, and I'm like, actually, I was hoping you'd take over and do this, and it came out amazing. We had these tacos and everything. They were so delicious.
Oh, they were good, and they were left over, and I had a burrito this morning with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really good compliment when someone lets you use their grill. You know what I mean? Like, I don't do that. I'm like, you, what are you doing? Put down those tongs. That's not happening. Not in my house or my yard or whatever.
Yeah. No, it was really, really good. So
Yeah,
it's good barbecuing with you again. It's such good. And your barbecue is amazing, man.
I'm missing barbecue chicken. You know what? I make a good barbecue chicken, and I can't hear because I can't grill for reasons that I can't discuss right now. Well, whatever. I discussed it. My landlord's a knucklehead. So
well,
I miss barbecue chicken, man. God, I really want to make some barbecue chicken right now.
I found a good recipe for some barbecue chicken. It's not bad. I gotta show you. It's really simple.
For what?
But I want just barbecue chicken.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I'll show you later tonight because the more we talk about it, we're all gonna get hungry.
I'm hungry now.
Yeah, I think we're done.
I got nothing to eat. Yeah, let's go. All right, let's go to the board because there's a bunch of people on the board. Vince says he's got a barbecue, and he's got a grill and I can cook. So Vince, if I come to your house, would you let me use your grill? That's really nice of you. See, I wouldn't do that. You're a good friend too. Who else? Myrtle's on. That's good. Myrtle's here. Myrtle's World. Make sure you guys like the video, man. Who else? You guys are all very sweet. Thank you. Yeah, this is a group. There's people on this board that watch the show that have watched absolutely every single show I've ever done.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, and so from COVID, they've been done, and everything. They're always involved. They're always here. They're fantastic. So, and it's really cool because, like, I remember I talked about, I kind of did this because it helped us get through COVID.
Right.
But now they're all, they didn't know each other before. Now they're friends.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. So when we were in Vegas, Rachel and Robin hung out together, and they all know each other. We all had brunch a few weeks ago. So yeah, it was a cool and weird connection through COVID that we all kind of ended up coming together.
And you brought everyone together because of this.
I think I feel really good about that. Yeah, I feel really good about it because it worked.
Like an in-person AOL chat room from the 90s.
That's exactly what I am.
That's you. That's what
it's like an AOL chat room. I go.
You can hear the dial-up and logging into the chat
room.
Hey, yeah.
Yeah, that's me. Yeah,
but you know what? It's the same idea with, especially this whole lockdown, that we've been through the last year. Before that, parents were saying, I don't like my kid online playing games. They're not going to develop any friendships. And some of the strongest friendships have come out of that.
Well, they
You know,
had
that's
to.
the
They didn't have a
connection.
choice. Well, the girls like Lily. Well, last year was her first year at Champs here in California, so all the friends she made were through online. She hasn't even seen those people face to face yet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's. I mean, we didn't have a choice. We kind of had to do that. Like one of the reasons it's a good idea to bring the podcast back now, especially, is all the changes we went through. All the changes we went through in COVID. This last year's been a brutal on relationships. We talked before the show about how many friends we have that either ended up getting divorced, they're separated. I know a couple. I know a couple that are living together still. There's a lot of people still doing that. They're split, but they're living together thing.
Yeah, it's called the sleep divorce.
That's called
sleep separation, sleep divorce, where they start sleeping in different rooms. And they're like, oh, no, we're still together. We're just sleeping in different rooms. You know, I can understand with certain medical conditions of like really bad snoring or someone having to have a certain bed. I understand those things.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's not a judgment. It's not my opinion on anything. It's whatever floats your boat and how you want to live your life. That's up to you.
Right.
And that's cool in the gang. This is America. You know, you do your thing. But with this lockdown, we were actually discussing it earlier of how many people were not used to being with their significant other this much. And then you put in tension of, we don't know what's going on with the world, financial tension, and what do we do with our kids? You know, what are we going to do?
Right.
And then you mix all those together, and it's really tough for people.
Right. Yeah. No, it's been this last year has been it's been incredible as far as I don't know how people did it. You know what I mean? I was lucky. The girls and I got along really well through it. So we were fortunate.
I did notice you have fewer dishes in your house now. So.
Yeah. It's because I'm home alone right now, and my house is clean. That's very confusing. I know. It's very, very weird. Hold on. Brenda has a question. So every once in a while we have questions, and most of the time they come from Brenda. Robert, how did you adjust to doing your job during the quarantine over Zoom and not in person?
It worked out really, really well because, I mean, I'm in a private practice, and I love the office. We actually just got into this new office right at the beginning of the lockdown. Like in April, we were handed the keys. Most people like doing Zoom and being in their pajamas.
This is the greatest. I'm wearing shorts right now. This is all I do is put on a shirt.
I'm wearing jeans. But there's an interesting thing that I can't remember the name of it. Maybe y'all remember like being on the phone with someone you're just starting to date, and you're walking around your room and the long cord or the cordless phone, you're walking around talking to them, and you feel like in your space, like you don't have any inhibitions to the way you're looking or walking or standing, and you're able to communicate better. A lot of that happened. So a few of the teens liked being on the phone, and some of the other people really liked that FaceTime. For myself, what I would do is I wasn't looking at the screen. I was looking right at the camera and talking to them so we could have that connection. And it did help having the screen so I could see certain facial expressions and how they're talking. A few people felt uncomfortable being on the camera, but kids were used to it for school, and the people that were coming into therapy wanted that therapy anyway. So they couldn't wait. I could see them in the virtual waiting room like 20 minutes ahead of time. I'm like, don't you have to grab a sandwich or something before we log on? But that's all right. It seemed to work out really well. And I was also able to fit in more people, and there was such a stronger demand for what was happening, and the timing opened up as well. So it was good.
Nice. Right on. Okay, one more thing. Hey, Vince, stop talking about food. Stop talking about meat and brisket and cookie. I'm starving right now, and all I'm thinking about is
still gonna get some food after this.
I'm gonna eat for sure. But Vince, you should have a big cookout. We should all go up to Vince's house for a big cookout. That's what I'm hearing. That's what I'm getting here.
Yes, I'm married to Nicolette. She is amazing.
Yeah.
I will definitely pass that on if they're not watching.
Yeah, she's great. She's been dynamite in all the sketches and stuff that we have, and her as a guest on the show twice. So
yeah, she's fantastic.
Because we were doing our podcast early on.
We were, yeah.
Lenny and Nicolette show, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it was. God, when was that? That was
last year, right at the beginning of the quarantine, during right at the shutdown, right when we were starting to shut things down. I remember because they were right before they shut it down, and then right at the beginning of the shutdown. Because we talked about all of that. When are they going to shut it down? Are they going to shut it down? Mm-hmm. And I talked about the dynamics of being at home and all that stuff.
We still have. Nicolette was just going through some photos the other day of like Do you remember when we green screen? You guys had Nerf guns shooting at the camera in slow motion.
Yeah, those are cool.
She went through those, and then also the red nose. You guys did the red nose.
Oh, right. The whole photo shoot for that. Yeah, right. Yeah.
We have a bunch of stuff. Oh, we got to pull those out.
Right. Brent has another question. Did you notice a lot of people were more depressed during the quarantine?
Yes, significantly on all levels.
Right.
As a matter of fact, so I'm going to get real with a few hard numbers here, so please buckle up. It's, for example, there was a moment, one of the statistics I read that Japan had a higher suicide rate than a death rate from COVID. You know, that's startling numbers. The amount of kids that have gone into depression, adults in depression. Now, the definition of depression has to be more than 2 weeks, 2 months of not feeling up. Okay, otherwise it's considered like cyclothymia, or it could be a doldrum. During that time, we've had more suicides in this country than ever before. And it was predicted, I remember reading some statistics that by 2020, and I read this in 2016, 2017, that depression would be the leading cause of mental illness in this country more than any other mental illness, more than schizophrenia or bipolar or anything else. So it is very sad. What you can do is check in with your friends. You guys are checking in with each other, which is fantastic. Reach out to people. If you're not doing well, it's like saying, hey, and if you're doing okay, reach out to other people you haven't heard in a while. That's the most important thing. And there's help out there. We had a stigma of not asking for help because we were afraid something's wrong with us.
Right, and it was an ego thing, too.
Yeah.
You were so like,
We're
I don't
all
want anybody
crazy.
to know.
We all
Right.
have good days. We all
Yeah.
have bad days.
Right.
Check in.
Right.
You know? And if you're not doing well, it's the person that doesn't have the strength, that doesn't want to reach out. That's the people you need to reach out and say, hey, how you doing? And it doesn't hurt.
Right. Well, and one of the things we talked about on the podcast, one of the things we'll continue to talk about on the other podcast is it's so different now. I don't know how teens and kids do it these days. You know, you can with cell phones and social media, that pressure is got to be, that's a pressure cooker, man. That's insane.
It really is.
Because you can get bullied 24 hours a day now. You know, remember you can
Cyberbullying.
there was a day when you could go home and you were home and just go, I'm not going out. I don't want to go anywhere. And even if you were upset, you were home with your family. But now you get a ping, you get a message, or there's a picture of you, a meme of you flying around, people just making fun of you. I mean, it just doesn't end. I don't know how. It's got to be brutal. I see my kids go through it. I see Lily go through it constantly. You know, one bad comment on Snapchat and she's shot. And then there's 2 or 3 kids, and I've been through 3 or 4 situations where I've talked to Lily about it, and a couple where I've gone into the school. There was one when she was really little. We had to go into the school and talk to the principal about and other parents, and I mean, it's a whole different world now as far as that goes, you know, and that's dangerous.
It really is. I mean, when I talk to parents, Dr. Swanson had done a lecture. I've gone to a couple schools where you're out there and you say, here's what's going to happen when I give my kid a cell phone, a smartphone, for example, right? Now, a lot of parents are like, oh, I can't wait till they see it and they unwrap it and they're like, oh my gosh, you're the best dad ever, you know? And we don't want to be like, now here's the long list of rules that come with it. You don't want to like rain on their parade. So they're like, okay, not thinking your kid's going to be like, I mean, just dialed into all these apps and you're like, wait, what are you doing? Where's that? What, you know?
Right.
You're not saying to your kid, here's the world. You're saying, hey, world, here's my kid.
Right.
And it is a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
They can access anything they need to through search engines, Google, and social media and they're looking for that self-reassurance. Now, it's great in the sense they can communicate more with friends. That part's fantastic. It's great that you can have friend finder for your child, so you know, like, okay, they're at school or they're at this friend's house or something like that. Those things are wonderful. Something's happening. I need to reach you right away. Hey, can I stay out a little longer? Whatever it might be. The downside, especially with social media, is people are comparing themselves to this idea of what someone else's life looks like.
Right. Yeah. And also, that life is fake. You know what I mean? The image you're seeing of another person's life, like, oh, I wish I lived their life. That's all bullshit. they're only showing the good things. No one's posting the bad day. I mean, some people are.
Then you have some people, on that level. There's other people that are like, oh, this sucks, and another bad thing happened, and it's like, okay, it's also not a diary either. I can understand reaching out to people and like, hey, some prayers because this happened. Please pray for my dad or my mom or a loved one. I understand that. It's not a great idea to air all these things as a diary. You're going to get some sympathy, but then once again, this is learned behavior. Mm-hmm. If you get that, oh, someone's listening, there's that sympathy, and you're hungry for it. Sometimes people are going to say, you know what, I can't listen to this anymore because, you got a flat tire or you spilt your coffee and every day is a bad day. Do you remember, what was it, Living Color? They had the drama queen. Yeah. Like, oh, we just found out we have cancer. And then she's like, why does this keep happening to me that my friend has, So it's like, but that's the thing, it's not your story. It's not,
right.
You can be there for them like, wow, I'm really sorry to hear that. And you should walk away and that same people ask, like, doesn't it weigh you down listening to, and I used to do nonprofit stuff and that was some hard stuff. And I'm like, no, either I'm helping someone, but when I walk away, I think of how blessed I am. Like, oh man, I love my life. I love my family. I love my friends. I've got a lot of great things going for me. Then I get on my motorcycle and I blast.
Get on my motorcycle and I blast. Okay, here's something I want to point out. First of all, Robin had a good point here too. Other people use the shutdown. Like, I kind of think we did this here at the house, where you use the shutdown as a time to really focus on self-care. And help, and she used a life coach. It really helped change her life over, and like we did that here. I think the girls and I have really good communication, so we talked a lot about our problems and what we were doing together.
You have a good foundation with the communication already,
right? But I used the COVID, I used the time, like Robin is saying, she used COVID to actually focus on herself and make things better. And like Anna did too. Anna has this whole workout regime, and I mean she's lost a bunch of weight, and she's very, very healthy, eats well, takes care of herself. Yeah. So other people use COVID. Like I know there are a lot of people, like they call it the COVID 20 or 15. Or whatever the hell you want to call it now. People call it something. Other people call it, my brother calls it the COVID 90, because he gained 90 pounds during COVID.
Some people have, I
know. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I saw a funny meme that came out and people were like, wait, the restrictions are, I thought we all agreed we're not having like hot girl summer this year. And we're all like, wait a minute, why are people in bikinis? And some people, worked out at home. Right. And I even made my own home gym, and I'm still looking at myself, and my daughter likes to shake my belly. I'm like, I know. I look like evil Santa Claus. Don't do that. I'm like, yeah, a bowl full of jelly. I get it. But it's where you're at and where you want to go. So whether you're quarantined or not, maybe you found something else. Maybe you caught up and binged Netflix. Maybe you read some books. Maybe you delved more into your mental health and worked on yourself. That's fantastic. And some people said, you know what? I don't have to work right now. I'm just going to enjoy a staycation.
Right.
And that's all right. Whatever works for you, that's fine.
Brenda also said, Brenda, you'll be happy to know this. She said I should have Nicolette and Robin on the show. Oh. We're gonna have Nicolette on the other show. We're gonna do on the Not Your Father's show. Nicolette's gonna sit in quite often on that. So I'm
she's gonna be like, and another thing.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Actually, that'll be a really cool. That'll be a really cool dynamic.
She's been wanting to have me on her old show and like together. I'm like, I don't know how.
Is she still doing the paranormal?
She's taking a break from that. A lot of it is because we moved out of the area. So we were all together in this area, which we do miss the area in certain aspects.
Yeah, it was cool. And we all there was a time when we all lived in the building across the street, so we saw each other every day. So
it was great.
Yeah, it was very convenient.
And I could not have had a better like family, especially during the quarantine time, than having all of us there together. Yeah, it was great.
Right.
Barbecues, dinners, cigars.
I missed the barbecues.
Barbecues. Come up. You got to come up and barbecue. So we decided to move up to Santa Clarita, and we like it out there. It's a lot more spacious. I miss the mountains. So there's hilly mountains, and we're in a great place. So I like it, but I do miss our friends. And Nicolette still has to commute all the way back to here because her job is 1 block away from where we are right now. So she walked to work and it would take her 30 seconds. And now she's like, driving for sometimes 45 minutes to an hour and a half.
Yeah, right.
But she loves listening to her shows and her music, and she rocks out like.
Well, I did that drive with her yesterday because that's what I'll do now. Is like when I go see them, Nicolette works around the corner, so she'll pick me up and I'll just drive up there and have dinner and hang out, drink, and spend the night. And then she drops her off when she goes to school. Yeah, drop her off this morning. Yeah, and I get a burrito usually out of that deal. I always get a burrito out of it.
I do this thing where I make the I take the leftovers from like tacos, the way we make the steak and everything, and I take all the rest of it and I make Lenny and Nicolette, like I call it the magic morning burrito. So I put all of it and I wrap it and it's got aluminum foil and I write their names on it so they don't, because Nicolette loves the jalapeno, like anything spicy.
Yeah,
like that memory food. Like
takes a lot of jalapenos.
That. And then so the next day, you have something to look forward to, and the juices are just marinating in there. So yeah, it's good. It's like walking away with taking your swag when you're done.
Yeah, right on. Right.
Party favors and stuff. Gift bags. All
right, man. I think we're gonna wrap this up. What we will do is this: we're gonna start recording the podcast, the new one, within the next few weeks. It'll launch in September. You guys know, as far as all the show, I'm gonna do other podcasts, and I'm gonna do Not Your Father's Show. I'm gonna do my new podcast starting in October, and then I'm gonna do the one with Lily. So that's 3 podcasts, which I don't think is too much. I think I got this down to a science now. So we'll see.
You should be in the producer guild with all of your.
Yeah, I think I got it cool. And then the cool thing is, like, we'll record some stuff, and I'll shoot some stuff, and I'll take it with me on the ship, and then I'll just edit. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So I'm really looking forward to like Lily's stuff. I'm going to edit a lot of that on the next ship I'm on. So
for sure.
So anyway, that'll launch in September. You guys will know. You guys keep up to date on what's going on.
Food talk.
Before all that, I'm starving to death. Thank you, Vince, you jerk. That's all. Let's just blame Vince for that. You're an ass. Tammy said you're an ass. So, all right. Brun says thank you for a great show and a great time. Okay, that's cool, guys. Give Robin a round of applause. Do that. Here we go.
Thank you, everyone. It was nice seeing your feed, and I'll tune in and keep saying hi.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll be back. I'll be back next week. Let me see who's here. Who's going to be here next week? And we'll start recording our podcast, like I said, in the next few weeks. And it will definitely launch in September. Mine will launch in October, and Lily's will launch sometime around that time as well. I'll keep you guys updated and let you know exactly what's going on. Let's see who's here on Monday. I think I know. Oh, I know who's here. This will be fun. Tim Slagle is here Monday, who is a comic from Chicago. He's I'm trying to set this up the right way so you guys are going to watch it. I love Tim. He's kind of a libertarian, kind of a very hardcore libertarian, but he also likes to play devil's advocate. You guys will probably enjoy him. This will be fun. Tammy's going to hate him. I'm going to tell you right now. Tammy Mulligan's going to hate Tim Slagle. So I'm just guessing. I could be wrong, but I think it's going to be fun. I like to have people on the show with different points of view, and I know Tammy does not. Some people don't, but Tim definitely. I love talking politics with Tim. He's all over the place, and he's a smart dude. So he's a very smart guy. So he'll be here Monday. I'm looking forward to being on the show. Guys, have a good weekend. Thank you for being here. Say goodbye to Robin one more time, and we'll be back soon.
Thank you, Brenda, Tammy, Vince, Shauna, Myrtle's World, Tammy. I think did I say everyone?
You got Rachel and Robin
Thank you,
Rachel, Robin, Gara. I think left. Keith, did you say Keith? Make sure you say Keith. Oh, and Alex is here. The last minute. Alex is here. Alex's wife is pregnant, by the way.
Congratulations.
Yeah, he's gonna have a baby soon, and he's building his own pool. So that's why he never has time. He zips in at the end. So there we go. Guys, thank you so much. We'll see you guys later. Do me a favor, as always. Oh, real quick, if you want to support the show, throw some money at the show. Look, there you go. For anybody that's watching the tape later, the rest of you guys, you're Patreon members. Oh, Patreon members, happy hour this Saturday, 4 o'clock Pacific time. That's 7 o'clock Eastern, Brenda. 7 o'clock Eastern, Brenda. 7 o'clock Eastern, Brenda. 4 o'clock Saturday, if you can make it.
Wait, you're doing a happy hour this Saturday?
Yeah, we do a happy hour. It's all the Patreon members. You can get in on it if you want. I'll send you a thing.
What? Because actually, I'm going to take a minute.
Sure.
Lenny and I were talking about because I still do documentaries. I'm part of the producer guild, and I've done a few. And I was thinking of following Lenny for a little bit before a show, just sort of behind the scenes.
Yeah.
If you guys are into it and you have a happy hour, maybe we'll make that happen.
Okay, cool. Well, then 4 o'clock Pacific, you want to come by here.
Yeah.
You can come by here. Also, or like I said, on a Zoom link to everybody. So all these people will be on Zoom on Saturday.
Okay.
And we just have a drink and we talk and we hang out for
Great.
like an hour. So we'll do that Saturday at 4. So we'll see Robin Saturday at 4. I'll see you guys Saturday 4 Pacific. That's 7 Eastern, Brenda. 7 Eastern, Brenda. 7 Eastern, Brenda. And the rest of you guys, I'll see you Saturday. Guys, have a good couple of days. And as always, dream of Pinky.
Lenny Schmidt Quarantine Comedy was created, produced, and is hosted by Lenny Schmidt. We live stream on YouTube at 6 p.m. Pacific every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Special episodes occasionally stream or are uploaded on Tuesday and Thursday. Every episode is also launched as a podcast and can be heard on iTunes, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. If you enjoyed the show, please like the video. If you really like it, share the video. If you really, really like it, please subscribe to the Lenny Schmidt Comedy channel on YouTube. You'll get updates on this and numerous other online comedy content that my dad produces. Check the info section below for detailed information on all of our guests. If you are a fan, you can follow and support them as well. Go to their page, like their content, buy their albums, purchase a shirt, any merch they may be selling. Anything you do will support performers, will literally help save the arts. In fact, if you want to support this show financially, just go to LennySchmidt.com/ifyoucan or Venmo at LennySchmidtComedy. If you donate as little as $1 or as much as $10,000, it will help pay for the stuff my dad keeps breaking. If you can't pay for the comedy content, that's okay. COVID sucks for all of us. Enjoy the free show. If you want to find a way to support what we do, just subscribe to Lenny Schmidt Comedy channel on YouTube. That really helps a lot. Thank you for listening to my dad's show, and as always, dream of Pinky.